What's going on, everybody? My name is Empra, and in today's video I'm going to be breaking down my brand new track Heavy Heart, which just got released on Fedde label Darklight Recordings. If you have no idea what the track sounds like, I have a quick preview for you because it's actually the same song that I use in my intro. Alright, before we jump into the project, I want to point out in my opinion, the track has three main things why it's working. First up, it's gonna be the vocal and the vocoder effect in the breakdown and in the build-up. Second is gonna be the drop chords and the way they are automated. And last but not least, is gonna be the main lead in the second part of the drop, because I used the vocal, chopped it up and processed it, so I made a new lead melody out of it. So we're in Studio One right now. It's the program that I use to produce music, and I want to start out with the vocal and the vocoder effect. Actually, the vocal is from a sample pack from Vengeance, and the sample pack had like 4 or 5 songs with different vocals, but all from the same vocalist. So I took 2 of those songs and actually used the verse from the first one and the chorus from the second song, and then just combined them because it was the same key and the same vocalist. It really fits well together, and in my opinion, the verse from the first one was better than from the second song and vice versa. So essentially I took like from the same sample pack 2 different songs and put them together to make one song, because in my opinion it just sounded way better.
You left me on my own. I believed in you. I believed in you. You turned my heart to stone when I needed you. You left me out in the rain all alone.
That's where the vocal is coming from. And then I used the vocoder effect to really enhance the vocal and give it some of a futuristic vibe, but only in the last part of the break and then going on into the build-up, just to make it more interesting and glue everything together.
You left me on my own. I believed in you. I believed in you.
So it's quite simple actually. I use a plugin which is called Vocal Synth 2. So I just picked a preset and tweaked it to my liking. And the most important thing is that you enable MIDI mode. So I created a MIDI track, and the MIDI track is playing the chords from the song. I then copied the main vocal to a new track, and this is pretty much the trigger for the MIDI track of the vocal synth to play. So if you route these two together and you say for the MIDI track that the copy of the original vocal is going to be the trigger every time when the main vocal hits, the vocoder effect hits, then you can create this amazing chord effect that the vocoder effect is doing the chords from the song, but with the vocal of the original singer, if this makes any sense.
You left me on my own. I believed in you. I believed in you.
I can make a detailed tutorial for the vocoder effect. It's a little bit complicated at the start, but once you get the hang of it, it's pretty easy. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below if you're interested in this. So as you can hear, this is the vocoder effect with the vocal. And this is without. Moving on to the chords, I picked a preset from Team MBL, so shout out to Team MBL, they make great presets. I tweaked 2 of the knobs in Serum just to give the chords more movement and make them feel alive. It's the cutoff and it's the rate automation, so it changes the rhythm the notes are played. So you can just drag the notes and they are like chords playing throughout the MIDI, and if you change the rate of the LFO, it changes how often they should repeat. I also made an attack layer with the chords just to have a little bit more attack to it and help it punch more through the mix. I also added another layer of chords just to give it a bit more stereo image and panning it to the sides just to make the sound a little bit more wide. Alright, moving now to the second part of the drop. It's the lead sound I made with the vocal. So I took the original vocal, put it in a sampler and sliced it up. Each note on your keyboard is a different part of the original vocal. So the first thing is coming up with a good melody and just using your piano roll and writing a new melody with these vocal chops. The good thing is, because it's all in key, pretty much every note is gonna work, so just try a lot of stuff out until you're happy with the melody. And then the processing is really the important part. So you really want to distort it a little bit. So in my opinion, for this track, it really worked well when you don't really hear the vocal anymore. If you want to make your melody a little bit more interesting, I suggest using a pitch and format shifting plugin. In this case, I used Little Alter Boy from Soundtoys. It's an amazing plugin. All you gotta do is automate the format, so you have format shifting when the lead sound is playing. So the vocal chops are changing in tone without being pitched. Definitely make sure to try this out in your productions if you have no idea what lead sounds you should use in your track, and maybe you come up with something very unique and interesting, so make sure to try it out yourself. So there was a second thing I was doing, and that is adding a reverb and using the compression to sidechain it. So every time the lead melody plays, the reverb is getting ducked because of the sidechain. So when there's a gap between the melodies, the reverb comes back up. This really makes the melody breathe and come to life. This is a very, very good trick in my opinion. A lot of people are doing this. There are tons of tutorials on how to do it, but you really want to make sure that your lead sound is not drowned in reverb and only gets the reverb when it's not playing anyways. So you really get that space effect. It's a big lead sound, but whenever it's playing, it's really tight in the mix and controlled and just sounds better, as if you would drown it in reverb in the first place. Just make sure whenever you use a lead sound and want this effect that you use sidechain compression on the reverb just to make it more clean. So yeah, that's pretty much the breakdown of the track, of the most important parts at least. If you have any questions about the production, let me know in the comments down below. I would be happy to answer them. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe. The Spotify link for Heavy Heart is in the description down below. If you want to listen to it, would be amazing. That's it for today's video. I hope you guys found this very helpful and you could learn one or two things. Let me know what you want to see next. And until then, thanks for watching. Have a good one.